here in the United States too. This is Smart Mado Ajaja, the convener of Open Nigeria and Africa Unite, and the anchor of Nigeria Now. Global matters are rising. Good morning, Africa, and reggae at its best on ONN. It is 12:13 a.m. Central Standard Time here in Houston, Texas, which is 10:13 p.m. Pacific Time here in the United States of America, where our guest, Hurricane Charles Ugwumba, will be speaking from. Good morning. Welcome, Brother Charles Ugwumba. How are you today?
I've been great all day.
Great, man. You know, whenever I speak with you, the kind of energy that I get, I don't know where it comes from. Man, what drives you? You know, let's share with the world what drives you really.
I am Igbo, a Biafran. We run towards danger to confront evil.
So, all right. Wow, wow. Well, every time we come here, a lot of new people come. I am expecting hopefully a full house today. Since the past few days, the algorithm has been acting up, but you are a ginger, great ginger. Please simply introduce yourself in your own words to our guest
I will,
from around the
I
world.
will introduce myself in a nature I believe, never disclosed to you.
All right.
I led a team of 6 to run the boards of 120 companies, 8 of which are multinationals.
Hmm.
I've had boards, fire management, and I've run all kinds of companies and appointed by the board for any period of 4, 6 to 8 months until new management is hired. I've
Wow,
run hospitals. I've run
wow.
engineering companies. I have
Hmm.
been receiver manager for factories,
Hmm.
sold and represented. So that is my background in the business world. And that's how I'm able to strategically put my kids, who are 2 of the smartest people walking on this earth.
Wow. That is impressive. Now, I would love to meet those two powerful kids of yours. After I read um, their resumes, man, I went like crazy. Crazy. What did you do to bring those two great, iconic young men in their, very young age? What did you do to be able to bring them to that level? Hey, Mr. Gumba, we need to bring these young men here so they can inspire some young Nigerians. They can inspire some black people. They can inspire more people, regardless of race. We need to talk to those young men.
I raised them to be ahead of the competition by leaps and bounds. In 1985, my kids were using well, not my kids, I had only one son then, was using the Sinclair ZX Spectrum 48K RAM that we bought from the firm of Sigma Systems, Nigeria's Upa Biasika's computer company. It has its Lagos office next building to the NPN headquarters, and another one at Angwasarki Musulmi in Kaduna.
Wow.
When my boy came here at 8 and a half, he had read over 100 books. He had been taught by Americans since he was 2 years and 3 months until 8 and a half when he came here. They put him in third grade. He was doing ninth grade math. He had read all the history, the Odyssey, all of those. He went to their top school, Andover. He was Graham Henderson Endowment Scholar at Andover. Before we came to America, I was prepping him for that trip, so that when we get here, Russian, Indian, German, or Jew, he will be equal or better.
Wow.
And the same goes to the other one, my younger son. You know him, Buddy.
Yes.
He's an extraordinary electrical engineer. Extraordinary.
Wow. Wow.
Chidozie's work, by his work, he has extended the lifespan of humanity by no less than 10 years. Symbiosis Capital Management makes new drugs by repurposing existing drugs and creating new drugs. He has been doing that since he's using AI since 2010.
Wow.
He took the
Wow.
Walton fortune from 98 billion when he became their managing director of investment. There was a global search to identify him. He speaks 7 languages.
Wow.
Read his profile on Google. Symbiosis Capital Management.
Yeah,
They invest.
I wish the inspiration to ask you the question was there before we started. I would have put out the link to his bio here. Yes.
So and it's there online. We from where we come from, we do great things very early. I was a guerrilla at 12 years old. There was only 5 of us that were trained. Only I survived the training, and I was batsman to the commander of the guerrilla battalion, Raiders Strike Force, brigade.
Wow.
Raiders Battalion, Port Harcourt Strike Force Brigade.
That was in the Biafran army.
That was in the Biafran army, and we dealt with this Fulani that is a menace in Nigeria. If our sector of the war was not cut off, there was no way. We had our sites at Port Harcourt. We beat them in every battle and took over 12 cities. Imerienwe, Okomoko, Ipo, Abara, Ozoahia, Umudeme, Ozuzu. We put them on a tailspin
Wow.
with smarts. And the commander was Laz Njoko, Maverick Laz Njoko. He was intelligence officer for Kaduna and Zogwa, 5th Battalion, Enugu. His enlistment number is B0098. By the end of the war, not up to half a dozen of them who trained at the officer candidate school, that first batch was alive.
Wow. Wow. Hey, Maricela, welcome. Thank you very much. Yeah, let me say this. If you are just joining us for the very first time, we welcome you from our heart, and we encourage you to subscribe to our channel. Just beyond subscribing, like our channel and share our message, so YouTube, can be inspired further to, distribute our message and help us reach more people. And in this broadcast, there are we have affiliates in Nigeria who sell Nigerian stuff. If you're a Nigerian listening, watching here, you will see some display of some Nigerian item, and those are our affiliates. They support our work, so we invite you to patronize them as we roll. Now, before we get into this whole thing, what does it take to be an Igbo man?
An Igbo man believes in Chi. You are a creator of the God of creation who has no son, no daughter, no relatives, no partners, no messengers, no prophets. When anybody tells you God said, he lies. God has never, 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 God does not speak to man because God has given man will. We are God ourselves. God is in us. He has given us will to know right and wrong. Anybody telling you about God said this and this is a trader. Christian religion, Muslim religion, These people want people worshiping a human being and telling long stories and so on. They were in communication with God, the micromanager, who tells them how to pee, how to shit, how to do this and that. All of that is traders. Nonsense. So the Igbo man does not pray. We have no prayer in our culture. We only thank God. Igbo does not pray. When you pray, that's anxiety. It means you want A not to happen and B to happen. If you have done good, the Igbo man is upstanding. You're asking me what is an Igbo man? He's an upstanding man who follows Chukwu Okike, God of creation. We are not part of the Omekome. The Omekome.
What is Omekome?
Omekome is it's like the Jewish people will say the Goyim. The Omekome, they are the people of the world who worship a human being, who worship human beings, or who worship a black stone that is filled with iniquity. Our God has no symbol. He has no expression of what he looks like, where he can be found, any image of him. Nobody knows God. We worship God, the living God, Chukwu Okike. We have nothing to do with the Omekome, but worst of all, see, these people, they started trading in the name of God. They're stepbrothers, Arab and Jew, mostly.
Yeah.
The Jews started trading in the name of God, and his stepbrother saw him and formed his own company.
Oh my God.
He
He
formed
formed his
his own
own
company,
company.
changed a few things there, and to catch up with the money that this other brother has made, he says, "You must join my company, otherwise we kill you."
Wow. What an analogy.
These people with bandage in their head, they have a hole. There is a missing portion in their reasoning, in their thinking, whereby they have sold their soul, their heart, either to Europeans or to Arabs. The Omekome.
Hmm.
They
Omekome.
believe, they believe like fools. It don't matter what they profess. So long as they pray, they are Omekome.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. And our listeners and viewers, I hope you are listening to this engaging intro. Now, this program is designated as Nigerian Matters Arising. And it's a lot of things taking place in Nigeria. Now, you are at the forefront, a frontline soldier for the liberation of the Hausa people in Nigeria. Are you an Hausa? Why is an Igbo man at the forefront of driving the liberation of the Hausa people?
Because all my formative years was Hausa and Fulani. Because Hausa people don't want to catch you dead or alive calling them Hausa Fulani. They don't want that shit. They don't want the nomenclature Hausa Fulani. It's nothing like that. They say that is a ruse from Fulani. So go ahead. Were you going to ask another
Yeah,
question?
no, okay. You said something that they don't want to hear that. Has it always been like that or is something recent?
It has never been like that. See, when we say the Fulani is smart, the Fulani is smart. These are people who are told 10 folds, 10 steps ahead what to do by the British so that while they're in control of Africa's largest economy, they can channel every procurement item from the Queen's service, from the Queen's stores, Her Royal Majesty, the Queen of England. Now is the King's. King of England. So they have this thing with them. They are always putting them ahead of Nigeria to preserve that market. Anything you see Nigeria government goes to procure outside, it is because the British don't have it. They are not making money out of it or something. That is the pact they have with those who run our government. You know? So it's all out there. They are not ahead. They are not ahead of us. It is the British thinking for them. The one time the Fulani thought for themselves. The one time they thought for themselves. After they have entered, they have been summoned from the Maghreb. They have, they are in all our forests. Then arms bought for the use of the Nigerian army were channeled to them by fifth columnists. They had a pass through because they manned all the checkpoints. So these people have this access to us, to kill us. And what they did was they started killing Hausa, their backbone, their spinal cord, the old people that gave them the local standing to corruptly supplant themselves in Nigeria. They raped Hausa women in mosques. They locked the doors of mosques and roasted them in it alive. They roasted them in passing commuter transport bus all around, sport petrol on it and have it burned. They killed them. These people are peasants in the countryside. From year to God blessed year, they never receive any government assistance on anything. Not in healthcare, not in good road, not in drinking water, nothing. They don't even have a matchstick to summon the fire, to cook the muscle that the sweat of their brow has produced them.
No,
This
how did we get here with the Hausa people, a massive majority in that part of Nigeria, being held hostage for as long as 222 years this year by a miniature minority? What happened?
This question is above my pay grade. Nnamdi Kanu, Onyendu, MNK, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu is the only person qualified to give that answer.
Okay, we leave it at that. Now we are here, and let's. I don't want to go too far too back behind in history. Now we're going to tailor our discussion from 1999 when they said democracy returned to Nigeria. The first president of that era of 1999 was Olusegun Obasanjo. He was a military head of state before then, and then he became from the prison. He became president of Nigeria, ruled Nigeria for 8 years, and then handed over power to Musa Yar'Adua, who was sick, suffering from end-stage renal disease (ESRD), and then he was so sick he could not do too much because of his ailment, and then he died 2 years after. We had a young man. Yeah, he was young, Jonathan Goodluck. At least he was young, but sadly, he was like an unwilling president, somebody who was unwilling to do the work because perhaps he did not expect that he was going to be president one day. He was unprepared for the job. Then he served out um, Yaradua's 2 years through what they call a doctrine of necessity, because some people did not want him to be president. We forced him. Yeah, I know that he came here. We told him, we put pressure behind him until until they declared him president through that so-called doctrine of a necessity. After 2 years, he stood and ran for presidency on his own standalone candidate. And I always call that experience a national blackmail. That everybody was saying, now we must have something different from what we have been having. Fulani, or those with a connection to the Fulanis. Obasanjo was an acolyte of the Fulanis. So everybody started shouting, let this man from the Niger Delta be. Then everybody put hands together. He was elected president, served for 4 years. The country did not get better. He was busy wanting to extend his tenure even before he was able to serve out his first term. At the end of the whole thing in 2015, he had served for 6 years. All right. And then there came Buhari. Boom, things got worse. From Buhari, 8 years of Buhari, total destruction. And now we have one man here, they call Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who vowed during his campaign that he was going to continue with the policy of Buhari. And true to his words, he's doing a great job at that. You know what? This question, I'm building up a question for you. That is why I went back as far as 1999. What is wrong with Nigeria that we cannot choose a leader or a leadership that can stand and work for the people? Why should we be choosing somebody who is sick? Why should we be choosing a man who had been head of state in the past, not because he did so great of a job, and then we gave him another 4 years, 8 years, and even at the end of that, he wanted some more. And then from there, like he was angry and handed the country over to a sick man. From a sick man, we got an unwilling man. From an unwilling man, we got a full-blown terrorist. And from a full-blown terrorist, we ran into the house of a drug dealer, certificate forger, and an identity thief, paired up with a terrorist, non-terrorist, a man in whose house those who bombed and destroyed the United Nations building in Abuja in 2011 is vice president of Nigeria. Now, do you bother? What is wrong with Nigeria? Why are we where we are? Why are we this type of people?
When you say that Yaradua was a sick man and was elected, it was, elected president. How did that happen? We have no hand in how our presidents are chosen. Nigerians have no hand in how they are chosen. They are chosen for us by outsiders because the British run Nigeria. Now, the worst thing is that those that they gave Nigeria to have now lost it on their own with this terrorism. There will be a new Nigeria that will be totally different from this half a dozen people you have mentioned. Where there's a Nigeria where there has never been rule of law. Anybody who tells you there's a rule of law in Nigeria is telling lies.
Yeah.
It has never been like that. And they have perfected the art of lawless, of maintaining lawlessness. So the new Nigeria will come when the hundreds of Fulani that represented the northern opinion can no longer find seats in our legislature and in our government. And then we will slowly, over the next 10 years, completely purge our armed services of the infestation of Fulani. Only then, if in Nigeria continues, I'm saying if it continues, I hope in Nigeria, but I'm a Biafran. But so long as we don't have a Nigeria that will give us a seaport in our own zone, where when we are the economic engine of Nigeria, and we can't have good roads, and we have Fulani running the show, that's not going to happen.
Now, you are particular about Fulani. Is it okay to generalize? Is it all Fulanis, are
No,
they bad? Yes.
all Fulani, the good ones among them have been the beneficiaries of the legacies, and they have selected some of us to give crumbs, crumb crunchers. There's no good Fulani. The only good Fulani is a disabled one. They have a plan that is in line with their culture of seizure. So when you say, let the good Fulani speak up in good terms, like what's his name? Ex-Senator Sani wanted to try the other day, then got himself confused again and went back into the same morass he was. There's no truth in them. You ask me, why am I acculturated to Hausa? It is a Fulani man, Aliko Misal, Dan Iyam Misal, a beautiful man, wonderful soul, incorruptible. When he was chair of the Bank of the North for 19 years or thereabouts, he never took the bank's money to give his friends or to make himself rich. Which people, in later Nigeria, were all these springing banks, Zenith Bank and so on, you work in one bank, you go and set up your own bank. Aliko Muhammad was on the board of virtually anything that was anything in Nigeria, and I was his personal assistant. I know all the Fulani who matter, who constitute the Kaduna Mafia. He was the one who paid for my child to have two white teachers in a class of 11 kids from age 2.5. By the time he had had 6.5 years of that schooling, when he landed America, he was hot potato. There's no high school student who could match his vocabulary or his math skill. You know what he studied in college? Political science. That Negro explains science to scientists. He runs doctors. He runs the best minds. Look him, read the teams that he has led their boards. 99th percentile.
Wow. Wow.
So it was a Fulani who paid for him. This when I was making 6,000 naira in Nigeria, when a Passat was 5,500 and a Peugeot was 6,000. The school fees at the American school was 4,500 naira. I couldn't pay it. Aliko Mohammed paid it for 6+ years, him and his wife Aisha. And that's why I have my NGO in Kaduna, Lisafi After School Program, where they learn English, math, reading, Chinese, uh, penmanship, um, critical thinking. We have added robotics, and I'm giving
Wow.
back. I've been running this. It's going to 5 years now.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Ahmed Betun. Hey, thank you very much from Ethiopia. Rastafari. Blakes, how are you? Yes, you asked a question why kill because of color and beliefs. That's something that we find very difficult to understand, and it's only happening mostly in Africa. Something is wrong, and that is why, even though Marcus Garvey told us, emancipate yourselves from mental slavery, for none but ourselves can free our mind. It doesn't look like some people in Africa understands that. It's like they sing it, they dance it, like Bob Marley put it into a song, but they don't understand what it means when they say emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. So Africans need to emancipate themselves from European mental slavery. Africans need to emancipate themselves from Arabic mental slavery in order for them to be whole and be Africans and be proactive, productive, and futuristic and visionaries like the founding fathers, yes, led by Mosiah Garvey, Emperor Haile Selassie, Kwame Nkrumah, Modibo Keita, Sekou Toure, yes, and the rest of them. Yes. So this generation of Africans, I don't know what it is with them. They are not thinking, especially when they find themselves in leadership. We have some of the worst, horrible leaders in Africa. You know, leaders are very powerful. One statement, one foolishness that they do or they commit could be misunderstood and followed blindly by the people. A good example is Nigeria. Nigeria is a disaster. Yes, Nigeria is a disaster. Nigeria has let the black race down. And this is why we are shouting on top of our voices. All right, come on, jump in, Mr. Gumba.
What I want to say, there is one common denominator throughout Africa that has kept us down, religion apart, because the people killing other people are Muslims. Christians kill Muslims in retaliation. Christians don't have Society of St. Joseph, who are terrorists, or Mary
Yeah,
Mag,
that's true.
or Legion of Mary, or Legion of Joseph, or whatever, or Knights of Columba, who are going around killing people. It's only Muslims. Let's not forget that. That is number one. But the main common problem of Africa, the one problem is that they lack what we call we the people. No African country, not one African country, has local government autonomous police made up by people from that district who read and interpret the written laws of their nation and enforce it there fully without reference to somebody in some provincial or state headquarters. And that is where corruption starts. When Africa fights for the rights for communities to have the autonomous power to arm their own police and enforce law in that community where the policemen are from that community, we know who they are, how they grow up, they know who the bad guys have perennial always been in this community, where they usually assemble, and all of that. We know who their relatives are when they start buying new cars or start benefiting from the fruits of corruption, and things like that. No African country has its own community attorney, district attorney representing the people, trained lawyers who can read and interpret the law of that nation, representing peasants when the high-handed want to take, get over on them. Those are the rights we should be fighting for in Africa. Unless we have the rights of we the people being able to tell our government, rather than our government telling us as it's all over Africa, we will still be in problem. And those who supposedly know, studied political science and this and that, they refuse or collude or stupidly, I must be the smartest man in Africa because they're not talking. That is the bane of Africa. The inability of communities to enforce law in their own community without oversight, like happens here in the city where I live. Let Governor Newsom stop by a pub in this city, drink more than a few beers, give handshake, and come outside and pee in public. He's going to jail.
Yep, yep, yep. I agree with you. Let me take this statement from Blake Smith. And I hope Blake Smith is still here. And maybe Mr. Gumba, you probably answer him. He said, "White man, as a white man, we don't hate as American. We would give Africans all they need. I know it sucks to ask for help, but sometimes a man needs a hands up." What do you have to say to that?
There are some questions that are beyond my pay grade. I
All right.
don't, you know, I don't even want to know what Europeans can possibly, positively do for Africa. It must be some new creation. You know how diamonds can be cooked in the lab, and make zirconia and things like that. It looks like diamond, but it's not diamond. The Europeans will have to do something extra they have never done before to help Africa. They are no help to Africa. They are a net loss to Africa. So I don't even want to address that question.
Okay, now, just on the 25th of December, the United States deployed a mission to bomb terrorist location in somewhere Sokoto. Can you tie this to this same type of help Mr. Blake Smith is talking about?
Um, it is usually tough to discern Western interests at the beginning, but that bombing is very, very helpful. It was like rain after a parched, long, dry season. It has not helped much because the terrorism has not subsided. But what America did was send messages because usually America is like a rolling thunder. It takes time, except it is their own war. And that is why America has never fought any war at home. They will go outside to fight wars, but never in their own territory. So it takes America time to organize the logistics of what they want to do. Operation Desert Storm, from the day it was flagged off, it took 6 months before, all the inventory, the arsenal, and everything was moved over there.
Yes.
These people, these terrorists, they only know the point of a trigger. Maybe with use and so on, they can strip and assemble an AK. But that is all they know. They will die where they are. Everywhere there is a parchment of them has or is being mapped out. They will die where they are in those forests. They will fertilize those forests. You watch. Because we will not go in there to bury them.
Yeah, was it a couple of days ago? I did a broadcast, a live broadcast, thanking President Donald Trump for that show of help. Well, I don't know if there was anything behind it. I don't want to believe that there was. And if there was, there should be, because one bomb cost money. And it doesn't take, I think, if you ask me, uh, as a Pan Africanist, with all that I have seen, with all that I have studied about imperial powers coming to help lesser powers, if we want to be fair, there are costs attached to it. Well, some of my friends were saying, no, why would you thank Donald Trump for that? But they don't, I don't think they understand. So I'm going to use this opportunity. It's not because I owe anybody any explanation for my opinion, but it's okay for me to let them know what. I come from a small town in Delta State. Since the past 2 years, over 100 persons have been kidnapped in that hometown of mine, far away from the north of Nigeria. And
Because they
those
are in
who
our
kidnapped them, we
forests.
have,
They are
yeah,
embedded
those
in
who
our
kid,
communities,
yes, they are everywhere in Nigeria.
overpowering us.
Yeah, they came all the way from 500 miles to come and stay in my hometown and were kidnapping people unchallenged. They even kidnapped a police officer. The DPO of the town was kidnapped. I brought the police with the police PRO to my show. He was denying that it never happened. So I had to kick him out of my show. No, the show ended just as soon as it started. I said, no, this is not a place for you to lie. Get the hell out of here. I kicked the hell out of him. I said, get out. Then he left. Out of the 100 persons they kidnapped, 10 were murdered. One man, he was my friend, they beheaded him. Yes. Then the one that makes me cry most, a couple that were kidnapped on their way to farm. The wife was pregnant. While in captivity, she fell into labor and they had the baby. They brought out the baby and gave the baby to their dogs. And the woman watched her baby, their old baby, being mauled by Fulani dogs. And then she started feeding and she died there. She died, her baby died. One young man, he was taking his bath in his bathroom after the day's hard work. They went to where he was taking his bath, dragged him out, shot him, and killed him. So I want to address my friends who feel that I am betraying or I betrayed my Pan-African belief. How many Pan-Africanists are allowed to lead Africa? Show me one. They come once in a blue moon, except the likes of Kwame Nkrumah, Emperor Haile Selassie, who were the front line then. There was no other person, Patrice Lumumba, who did a great job that this generation is betraying. There was after them, there was no more. Then within some space of time, they'll come once in a while, once sprinkle in one small country. Thomas Sankara, little Burkina Faso. What could he do? They rounded him up. Samora Machel from Mozambique. What did he do? He was right there, the next neighbor of apartheid South Africa. They blew him up in the air. Patrice Lumumba, what did they do to him? They took him, they murdered him,
Did you see how
took
they
him
were
to
chasing?
Belgium.
You see how they were chasing him?
Yes, yes, yes.
And it was
So I
Africans
started
chasing.
asking,
It was Africans chasing him.
yes, they caught him, they dissolved his body in concentrated sulfuric acid. The only thing they returned the two teeth a few years ago. That was all that young man. for standing up, for demanding that his country and their mineral resources be managed by them. Since then, since 1961, Congo has not known peace. Congo has not known peace since 1961. What do we have in Nigeria? 6 years after, Nigeria went up in flames. So I'm asking my friends who say that, yes, we're Pan-African. Yes, nobody is as diehard as that for me. When these people came to my hometown, there was no army, no police, nobody came to their rescue. The people started evacuating, leaving their villages, and the Fulani terrorists are taking it over. And you are telling me about me being Pan-African and somebody came to help? Even if Satan came to help at that time, why should I refuse that help? That now they are now thinking that oh, we can be held accountable for our action. So they don't understand. I remain a Pan-Africanist. If I was in position today, it perhaps would be a different thing. We probably will not even need America to come because I know I have the will. I know what to do to inspire Nigerians to fight for their land. But Nigerians are being held back by the rogue holding Nigeria hostage, the rogue who work with France. France is a huge suspect in what has been taking place in Nigeria. So I think my explanation, is enough, for anybody. So I don't care. It's
Well,
only America that can come into any country and do what they did in Nigeria. No other country can come and do that and still come and give, whether they will take me now. They told me about sovereignty. Professor Ugwumba, just Dr. Chef Ugwumba, what has there been sovereignty in Nigeria? I don't know about the sovereignty. Have we benefited from our mineral resources? I've never benefited from anything. Jump in there, man.
I lived in Long Beach, California,
Yeah,
in the early 90s. There used to be some oil wells on Signal Hill, California, the adjoining city. It's just the boundary from where I live to the boundary is less than 3 miles.
yeah.
I used to receive a check of about maybe $1,500 every year as my share of mineral of oil that is being pumped from Signal Hill. Maybe the
Wow.
aquifers or whatever spread onto under my, you know, to my community. I'm not just, all of us in that community, property owners there.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I received that. It's royalty. But going back to the Trump bombing and so on of Christmas Day, you know, I put a post that people of Nigeria and especially Biafrans in diaspora who are Democrats should move over to Republican Party. That we all as human beings are imperfect, including DJT. But for him to come to take out the speck in our eye, to appear like he will, to hold these terrorists who said we will either kill you, first of all, we will put fear in you, and then you will surrender to our terms because we will have evicted you and taken over, and we will dictate terms for you now. Anybody who wants me not to thank Trump, how people who say anti-MAGA, or or if you're a Trumper, I'm not gonna date you. If you are, somebody will not date me because I supported Trump. Hell, He came and put some bombs in Nigeria and looked like he's going to do something, like he's going to take the cross we have been. I've been on exile since 2009. I've not been able to go home. My Facebook, every of my social media account has been hacked because I put the hammer where the nail is. I know this Fulani. There's nobody I'm calling other than Fulani. Until Nigeria dispenses of Fulani, it will not be good. It will not ever become even a smidget of the example it should be for Africa to see and begin to try implementing such things as rule of law and order in their own country, in Africa, in the rest of African countries, unless we deal with Fulani decisively. And that we didn't know it seemed like a complex question, but it turned out that it is not. All that it needed is for Hausa to pull the rug from under Fulani. That's all. Then people
Okay.
have no constituency.
Yeah. So let me say this: if it was the other way around, assuming, for instance, Pamela Harris had won the election, would America have responded the way Donald Trump responded? Do you think so?
Barack Obama was the reason why Goodluck Jonathan lost the election. Barack Obama never supported, them and the British people, you know, the leak spit of Britain. The Democratic Party is the leak spit of Britain. They do what the British people say. Nobody tells Donald Trump what to do.
No. Obama was a disaster. It was the worst.
And I supported this
He's,
man. I kept thinking,
yeah,
until really,
he,
really, I found out his effect on Nigeria. He should
yeah,
have known.
he hurt, he hurt, he hurt Africa the way no American president has done. Obama Barack hurt Africa. What he connived with Sarkozy to do in Libya, the consequences are what we are suffering in Nigeria today. He was a terrible man. I wish I did not put my money behind his campaign, but that is where it is right now. Sad, very
I
sad.
I I I am still on Act Blue at $3 a week. You know, it just goes from my account, to support demo. I should even think about that and stop it.
Yeah,
That
if
was
they
it.
are no
That
good,
is
why continue it?
the Democrats were no, yeah, because the Democrats were a terrible party for black people and for Africa. There was nothing they stood up for on the side of the African people. With all the power they have, they can, upon the destruction of Germany in the war, institute a Marshall Plan to go rebuild it. America can institute real democracy, at least seeming democracy in Africa if they want. The worst thing that America did was I don't know why they neutralized the Peace Corps. The Peace Corps volunteers that used to go, and teach in secondary schools and interact with the people and so on and so forth. It showed America in variance with the British as people who have a heart of gold. America will give to you. They don't take from you. The British take from you.
Absolutely,
We have to thank
absolutely.
DJT. We have to
So
thank DJT.
that is
And
why
we
I
ask
tell
all
you,
Igbo people, all Biafran professionals in North America to support Donald Trump. If every mistake he did, most men have done it.
yes, one of my friends was telling me that he called Africa shithole,
They
shithole
are a
continent.
shithole. What do you mean? He called Africa a shithole? Is Africa not a shithole?
Yeah, for me, initially I was
I don't eat their shit. I don't eat their food because
yeah.
you will find mice droppings in it.
No,
What are you talking about?
it's not all. There are some that are refined. But
Yeah,
again,
but if you imbibe in their food, that is what you will end up with. It's a shithole country, a shithole continent. God damn it!
all right. Yes. So when he said that shithole shit, I was I was angry the very first time. I was
Nah,
very, very, but as time went on, I started, it became something that I thought about every day. Then I will look back to Nigeria. I will look back to South Africa where I lived for 2 years. And I've traveled quite a bit around Africa. All I saw was misery. All I saw was poverty. All I saw was lack in the midst of the continent's abundance. So I really had to think seriously, thoroughly about it. And I said, yes, you know what? This man said, what he said is true. However, he put it, maybe perhaps was wrong. But it's for me, it's a wake up call. I don't get angry anymore. So I don't know why people can't get over it. It's true. He told us the truth. So if we hate it, if we don't like it, let us go and fight for the continent. That is why uh, my effort got doubled on Nigeria. Yes, and I'm not going to rest unless I die. I will not rest
I
until
don't do
the
anything.
evil
But
in
now
Nigeria.
I don't even know what is happening in Ghana or anywhere.
Yeah,
My
yes,
whole focus is Nigeria, and it is
yeah,
Fulani. It is
yeah.
Fulani,
This,
and it is
yeah,
compelling Islam. Islam will not compel Biafra. I don't care what they have been doing in all those Arab countries and so on, from North Africa coming down. Like they say, the buck stops with Biafra. If we catch you proselytizing in Biafra, if this Nigeria gets split, we catch you proselytizing or praying at high noon on Main Street, dis- disrupting commute, you going to jail.
all
What
right.
we cannot do in Saudi Arabia, you will not be able to do it in Biafra.
But I have a question. See, I've been around Muslims. I have some great friends who are Muslims, and I have Muslims in Nigeria who are from the other parts of Nigeria, like the ones who are Yorubas. They don't behave the way the ones in the north behave. So where do they get their own Islam from? The Fulanis, those the one they practice, and why
Like they have
is
this
Islam?
Izala,
Yeah,
and so on and so forth. Well, first of all, they influenced Hausa and got Hausa to be the bandwagon. And Hausa was committing all those crimes on their behalf.
yes.
But Hausa have come to find out that they were fooled. They were left carrying the can. They
This
gained
is me.
nothing. Uh-huh.
1991, Kano riot. I nearly lost my life. But the guy that was with me on that day, they killed him in my presence.
When I started making a little money in Nigeria before I came to America, we
Yes,
moved into a big house on like on the other side of the expressway that was just developing. One night 20 20 bandits. Guns were not available then, but they had every kind of crude weapon.
yes.
They besieged my house. They besieged my house, um, came with wire cutters to cut the burglar proof and so on. And we had just had a party. We had
Hmm.
bottles, bottles in cartons that were still in the dining room, looking at the living room that we were yet to return. If you touch that door, we threw a bottle. We threw close to 300 bottles.
Wow.
We fought them off for 2 hours until near dawn.
Wow.
And that's how that escaped. They came back a second time. I told them that, hey, since the last time you guys came, that I went and bought buckets of acid. I want the first person who can enter to try. Now we are not throwing bottles anymore. I'm
You
just
know,
telling them,
so so good.
you can't. You have to enter before you shoot me now. But I have acid here. Let the first person. They milled around and left.
I love Iska Koi. Hey, listeners, if you are just joining us for the very first time, this is Nigerian Matters Arising. We are talking about everything in Nigeria, everything that has made Nigeria a shithole country as it stands right now. But the use of shithole is to inspire us. If you are angry, join us. Let us build that country. Join us. Let us chase the evil away. Our country is so beautiful to be ruled by the worst of all. And
But
Nigerians,
no, to be ruled by Arab mentality. To be
yes, yes,
ruled by Arab mentality. And
yes,
if we are not going to have a Nigeria where anywhere you are, you're a citizen of the country, where no tribe does not, it's not like, oh, and Igbo people live Kano, Aboki people live Port Harcourt.
yes,
Where no Nigeria, where it will be even a crime, now here they call it racial,
proper,
crime. But there,
yes,
whether it's tribal crime, whatever they call it, if you
yes,
utter that word, you're going to jail. If we can't
yes,
have that Nigeria, we want our Biafra. And we will get our Biafra. We either get our Biafra or Nigeria capitulates. Nnamdi
absolutely.
Kanu is not giving in, and we Biafrans, we are not giving in. And thank you, America. Fulani, let this be a warning to you. Israelis don't back down when they say something they don't like. If they say they are going to support us, they will support us. And pick between Israel and Iran, who would you want on your side? So, anyway, Nigeria wants to flip it. Biafra is ready. That is
Yeah,
a cause we are not going to
yeah.
abandon.
You just mentioned Iran. You know, Iran has its ugly fingers in Nigeria. Yes,
Yes, because what are they? Shia? I think they are Shia, isn't it?
yes,
Okay.
yes. They are part
Yes.
of those funding terrorism and giving them training in Nigeria. And some people don't want us to talk about it. They are killing my people. How will I stand with Iran to be fighting? Honestly, why should I be fighting on the same side with Iran?
Iran is telling
Iran is a problem to Nigeria. Yes,
Iran is telling countries where the U.S. has bases that if the U.S. attacks them from there, they are going to attack those countries too, and they are going to do this. The thing is that if somebody has a catapult and another person has a bow and arrow, it's not the same.
no.
you know and there is nothing. I just want Iran, because it's a long time they keep saying the great Satan, they're the Satan. Because let them do anything that will cause them to be just creamed like this.
I think that country is led by a bunch of idiots too. Because as we stand, they don't have an economy. The exchange rate, their money between the dollar is over 1 million. They are putting a lot of money into building armament that does not drive the country's economy. So I don't know why it is like that. And then they'll be having their fingers everywhere, including Nigeria, where we come from. I know the extent to which they are involved in Nigeria. Yes. And I have a friend, very good friend of mine. He's white, he's an American. He gets angry you know, calling me all kinds of names because I condemn what the Fulanis are doing inside Nigeria. So I asked him a question. You know, I'm from here. I was born here. You don't understand the dynamics of what is taking place here. The same people who condemn Israel, you and I hold the same position on Israel. They condemn Israel for what the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians. And they come to Nigeria to do worse than the Israelis are doing to us in Nigeria. So why should I be on the same platform with them
But for
fighting
me,
Iran?
I studied history at advanced level, and I know that what's his name, Salahuddin invaded Palestine in 1087 or thereabouts, and forced Jews who own this land now, all that area, to either become Muslim, leave, or die. It's not their land. It has never been their land. They will all die there. And Israel will keep, I love what Israel is doing there. These people are dying like fools, like flies. Allah Akbar is not going to help you. It's not going to help you. You are calling on some iniquity that lives in a black stone. I don't care. That I don't care about Islam, about the devil, or whatever they can do. I need to see the devil. You know, in the last 6 months, I've received 4 tickets, speeding tickets.
I packed them. You remember me and you spoke the other day?
And the last one was
Oh, the last one.
the
The
last
last
one.
one, I was about, they actually issued an arrest warrant on me because
The last.
I
So
forgot.
I'm looking for the devil to sit in front of me. I mean, when I go anywhere from 97 to 117. Because I don't care what you are driving on the, or what you are driving. I have 490 something horses.
Hmm.
I don't want anybody to, like with me, anybody who, if you think bad things happen because some people think they are the only one who's bad.
Yeah,
People who race on the freeway think they are the only people who can race.
we can race.
Yeah,
And then those who shoot AK-47, they
they
think
think they are the only people who, yeah, like that.
we are just being nice. We are being just like human beings. Yeah, that's what I keep telling them. Times have changed and things are changing rapidly. Like what happened in Port Harcourt a few days ago. You know, there's this nasty, useless Fulani body called Mustafa Muhammad Gembu. Every second is churning out hate things against the Igbos. They are spinning. You know, there's a bastard they call Asari Dokubo. That boy, I think he needs to be, something needs to be done about
Hey.
him.
No,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Nature will catch up with him.
Yeah, that guy
That
is,
man, his essential organs are gone. If
yeah.
he lives, if he makes it in to the next few years, that will be a miracle.
Yeah.
You see, he's a pig.
It's
A
a
pig. You see,
total
a
pity.
pig, a glutton is somebody who feeds his mind, consumed
He
the
consumes
pleasure,
everything. He's feeding his,
material pleasure
yeah,
for him. He
yeah,
eats and consumes until, this type of person will belch all day long. They will stink. They will smell. Their inefficient organs will be oozing from their pores. I mean,
absolutely,
poison.
absolutely. I know
So
he's not well
don't
physically.
don't even that is the cry of a drowning man, is that he will be caught up by lifespan.
Man,
When somebody eats the food allotted to him by Chukwu Okike in 1/4 or 2/5 of the time, he will be called. That is
all right,
simple as that.
okay, let's
So
give
don't
him a
worry about him. Nature will take care of him.
Absolutely. Now, there's this talk about Sharia, Sharia, Sharia. You know, this monster, Satan of Sokoto, they call Saad Abubakar. He, veers off of his hole in Sokoto to want to implement, force the implementation of Sharia in Yoruba land and Sharia everywhere. Do we have to accept Sharia and not Ifa, Ahajioku, Amadioha, Olukun, and other traditional African religions laws?
That is
Why
a
should why should we why should anybody be bringing Arab or whatever Arab nonsense, to want us to implement as law? Really, what drives these idiots?
well, they are still acting from the overflow of His Royal Majesty, the collusion and the crime that the British committed in Nigeria against Christians, and not just against Christians, against the people of Nigeria. They are still acting in that vein, but that has been overturned by politics of exigency. The people who have been the tripods, who have supported that system in place, say no more. We're taking our ball and we're going home. We're not playing no more. So
Do you think the Hausa people can sustain this decision, that they have made?
I still can barely. I know a few Hausa people and many Fulani people who are articulate in English. It's hard for me to find a Hausa man who can speak proper English. If they cannot sustain it, if they want to remember Babi Allah, continue to beg, push barrow, cut nails, and whatever, pick. It's on them. If that is what they have signed for, then let what they want befall them. But the Nigeria we want will either be the Nigeria we want or we are going our separate ways. And the tides of time seems like it is blowing now our direction and that it can happen.
Yes. Just yesterday, I'm going to read out something, and then I hope this will allow us to play the video so you can hear something, that took place in Abuja that yesterday, and it was recorded live on Arise TV. I think there was a gathering of traditional rulers uh, from some parts of Nigeria, and an Igbo man was there, and I believe right now they are regretting ever inviting that man to the podium to make a speech. He made a speech that nobody had made in recent times. Bold, courageous, and he did not budge. Yes, he started diplomatically, but the punches were just too much to bear. Yes, right in the front of the rogue president and the beneficiary of what I would call the fraud that tries to create a fiefdom in the south of Nigeria.
You
That is called,
remember this fraudulent Nigerian president? A few
yeah,
months into his presidency, he wanted
yes,
to assemble Muslim imams and so on for a competition or wall something. They say Quranic reading in
yeah,
Abuja or some that uh, after the hues and cry was squashed.
yeah.
You know, he plays the field. He's a typical Yoruba man. They sit on the fence. Yeah, you are a Yoruba man. You're a Muslim, and your wife is a
It's a pastor.
pastor. You
Yeah.
you just you just come to fool the public and things like that. As if if I that guy is a fraudster He's a
Yes.
crook. And I am just hoping that eventually the United States will publish in like in playing cards, those type of cards that they put all those Iraqi corrupt politicians and generals and that is so that they were getting them one by one and so on and so forth, because all his assets that were that are all over the world, the US can call it home.
Absolutely. I think we are looking forward to that. So let me quickly read this, and I will play the video, and I'm sure it's going to be audible for you to hear what this courageous man said, and it reminds me of the Igbos of the old and what they are behaving, the way they are behaving makes me really sick, and that it makes me sick like they are truly not Igbos. But I'm going to see this old man. In fact, I can't. If I find him, I'm going to look for his number. I'm going to give him an award on behalf of ONN. Yes, for what that man said. No young Igbo man has said it, can say it in Nigeria. None. Even Peter Obi cannot say it because he's busy playing politics. They want, because politicians are liars. They want to be nice to everybody for votes. Yes.
Please,
You want to say something?
yes. Before we go into that, one real quick minute. I'm
Yes.
seeing somebody saying something about your mad, angry voices. In the comments here. He
Yes.
who wears the shoe knows where it pinches. If you do, if you have no, you cannot. If you live in the West, in the Western Hemisphere, I don't care what kind of crime infested part of the world you have come from. It is nothing like Nigeria. And today, it's like the devil at play, the devil dancing in a sandbox. That's what Nigeria is. If you think we are angry, you have to know what is happening in our land. If you're somebody who pursues righteousness and you see bad things happening and it does not make you angry, you have lost your soul. Go ahead with what I just want to make that comment for that guy.
All right, thank you very much. All right, okay, and I wrote this on my Facebook wall, and it's also watch what Ahmed Tinubu and Oni of Ife taken to the cleaners live. The great Igbo Nigerian who aborted major a major Bola Tinubu plot to create a monolithic southern Nigeria under the permanent authorship of his appointed Yoruba king, exactly the same way a minority Fulani Sultan was imposed in the country's middle belt and the north of the country ahead of the two impostors being unconstitutionally consecrated as the permanent co-chairman of an illegal Nigerian Traditional Rulers Council. It took a courageous Igbo man from among the mostly royal cowards from the non-existent southern Nigeria to drum it into the heads of all Nigerians, including the Oni of Ife, the beneficiary of the failed fraud, who was caught off guard, and the crackhead President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that there is nothing like the Southern Traditional Rulers Council, as nobody was elected to that position at any time. This type of bold, honest, and courageous elders and traditional rulers, yes, this is the type that Nigeria needs right now, and not the corrupt Ghana must go types in turbans and in different kinds of colors and shapes of customized regalia, who trade off their honor and integrity for the sake of money. This historic act and demonstration of integrity is synonymous and symbolic of the tradition of the ancient Igbos, which is being slaughtered today by some young city Igbo boys who go by some funny and crazy names and titles and who don't know who they are and what it takes to be an Igbo man. Now, let me try and play the video. I hope we'll be able to catch it on video. This speech by this very, very eloquent, courageous, yes, exceptional Igbo man is trying to load. Yes, and I hope it's going to play. What if you could start? All right, it's going to play. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes, so you load. So that was the speech. Let's be talking while we wait for that speech to come.
Somebody here says your problems in Nigeria.
Huh?
Somebody here says your problems is Nigeria is not Fulani or Islamic based. Advocate for accountability and stop relying on outsiders to fix your problems.
You
He,
did it.
you don't know he doesn't know the history of what he's talking about.
He doesn't know. You know, a lot of them they think is that easy, especially our brothers and sisters from the United States. Especially some are black. They don't understand enough. So we need to be patient with them to carefully and painstakingly explain it to them. You know, there's one who is very close to me. I had to sit him down to really explain the bits and pieces of what is taking place in Nigeria before he was able to understand it. You know, when they come, they are angry that an African country is having this same problem. You know, they are where their ancestors came, and they think it's that easy to suggest these ways. Oh, accountability, Nigerian leader. They don't understand how complex that hell of a place is. They don't put into account of what religion has done to the minds of the Africans in Africa. Yes.
How colonial powers left
How colonial
Africa.
powers. Yes. All that. So I have to explain it. But let me explain to this person who raised that question. It's a very nice question. I wishing that it was as simple as he wanted it to be solved. No, there are some people in Nigeria who do not want the country to work. There's nothing you will do to make them understand that they are human beings and that they are Africans that will make sense to them. They defer to being Arabs, especially the ones who are Muslims and they're from the north.
To act Arab,
They
even though
want
they
to
are
be
African.
Arabs. Yeah, they want to be Arabs, but they are in black skin. They don't think about Africa. Their blackness does not matter to them. Or it's not that they are Arab, Arab, Arab. Everything is religion to them.
They don't
Everything,
accept that there was God in their life before Arabs.
yes, they don't know. They took away everything from them. They stripped them. So these are the people, the biggest problem we have in Africa, and especially Nigeria, as the most populous African country. You can't sit them down and have a decent conversation. Before you say anything, they are telling you about Islam. Before you are saying anything, they are telling you about what Muhammad said. So that is the problem. To make them understand, we need to put them in schools. Some of them come out, all they knew, their very first thing, the encounter they have is Islamic education. But they
And
forget
the
to see that
British and
the
the British
Arabs,
arranged it that they
yes,
will always be in charge.
yes,
Now think of when these people.
sad. Yes, it is hard, very sad. But they don't look at what the Arab world, those ones who are
But
progressing.
let me even let before we even say, because tonight I'm ready for this. Let
Let's
me
go.
let me say this. You know, we're in this situation and we are talking about terrorism.
Yes,
The most modern terrorist in this world is the black woman, the black African American woman. That is the terrorist. That is the one who will tell you, oh, he was my high school sweetheart. And the person he's talking about is a charming young man with like deer in his headlights. They start prepping these women at about age 11, 12, 14. They're getting boyfriends. They're getting pregnant at 17 or 18, ruining a man's life, holding him hostage for the next 18 years. They're terrorists. They have ruined they go out you always say that, yeah, we were high school sweethearts. Then later you fell off. You were no longer high school sweethearts. All of them divorced, talking masculine, everything. They want to come to you and everything. They put all this mop on their head as nobody looking at them because they have ruined the lives of so many black men. They start as high school sweethearts. Jews, I hear, have 4% divorce rate. African Americans have 80 something percent divorce rate.
Talking about this, earlier in the evening I did a show
And
on
each
this.
of those divorces, there's a man held captive
Yes,
and stripped of
of everything,
everything. His children, even
stripped of
alienated from him. Most
made
of
poor.
them, most
Yeah,
of them are raised by women. Some of them, my friends, say, "Yeah, I'm going to my mama house." What the fuck? You going to your father's house and your mother lives there?
yeah, yeah.
My mama house,
I
mama
don't know why
house.
this came up. I did an hour show on divorce
Yeah,
today.
we were talking about
Maybe
terrorism,
I
but
should
I'm
have called you.
telling you the
I should
modern
have called you
terrorists.
into it. Yeah,
Yes, nearly every black man is virtually in captivity in America,
yeah,
held terrorist by somebody who called him my high school sweetheart.
yes. And the system will help them castrate you. Yeah, really wreck you, and you cannot speak. Nobody wants to
Then,
listen.
then they start,
Yeah.
then they start looking for somebody better than that person who will raise that child with them. If you and someone has the child, you take the child away, and then you are looking for somebody to help you raise the child. It will be that child will be your property, and he will just put money with nothing. Like they say, like Dave. I don't know who it was again. Who said it? You ever seen anybody say, "Oh, I want to give this shout out to my stepfather. He did this and that." No, he will still call his father. Stepfathers don't get anything. So if they approach you, once they have kicked a black man to the dust, had a child for a black man, don't marry them. They are terrorists. All of them have one man or two or three held captive somewhere.
A meeting was, I think it was in Abuja or Lagos, whatever it was, but a powerful speech was delivered. Hear this. Let's listen to this. And it was a gospel home truth to Nigeria.
Of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, DCFR, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, distinguished Senator George Akume, Your Royal Highnesses, Your Royal Majesties, I want to end the protocol here. Your Excellency, we have come to Abuja today, and we've seen the crowd. The only thing I can remember is when President Jonathan was president of Nigeria, he called the 2014 national conference, and the hall used to be full like this. But this one is fuller.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete.
There are more people. So you have scored the first. by bringing the largest crowd to this place. We've been committed to the health of our people. But having come now to Abuja and listened to Professor Mohammed Patel and his team, we are now more committed. So the traditional rulers of Nigeria will now go home and work harder than before. But I must tell you, Mr. President, that personally, I don't feel very happy because you were not here in the morning. There were several speeches. We listened carefully. I listened to the opening address by His Imperial Majesty,
Imperial Majesty.
And he was
bullshit.
gingering all of us to work as a family, to work as a team, to see Nigeria as one. And then I felt maybe this is good. But when you look at it, this same Imperial Majesty is arranging to confer a very high honor on Sunday Igboho, who in my own part of Nigeria in the southeast, we see him as a counterpart of Nnamdi Kanu. And my brother, fellow royal father, the Imperial Majesty, does not seem to understand the pain in my heart when Nnamdi Kanu is in Sokoto. So, sir, the ball stops on your court. Bring this man out. If we don't want him in Nigeria, return him to Kenya or London, where they took him from. You see, some of us here are being asked to go and work, but the young people in the Southeast are so agitated, they can even beat us. They see us as sellouts. We come to Abuja, they may think we come to collect money, and then we keep quiet. So, sir, please do something about this. Do something about this. We cannot make progress in this country if we don't tell ourselves the whole truth. There's no way. There's no way. Now, again, they were talking about Southern Traditional Rulers Committee on Health. And the eminent professor Patel was saying that this will become an annual event, what we are doing today, if I heard him correctly. The truth of the matter is that there is nothing like Southern Traditional Rulers Council. If you come here, party, and you give money to people on that basis, it's not correct. The South is not the North. We have a system. We need unity in diversity. So that people, so if you want to deal with us in the Southeast. If you have resources for us, give it to us. Don't give it to people who come and say we are Southern Traditional Rulers Council. Democracy is a representative government. And anybody who goes to present himself without his people is not democratic. So get it. We think that we will do our best. Mr. President, we are going to support this head. Do all we can, but please listen to our cries. May God bless all of us.
Did you hear that?
Well, that's why he's an Igbo man, because
I think I now recognize the Obi of Onisha. He has been speaking. He has been
Ah, okay.
yes, yes,
That's what. Yes, okay.
yes, yes.
Now I understand.
That one is not the one you can give any money
There
to
are
make him
there are
to do
some
so.
there are some mentions here that we
Yes,
should also address. We cannot just ignore all these people who are bringing up stuff here. We were talking about
yes,
terrorism. There's terrorism in Nigeria and in Africa, and it has a Muslim ingredient to it. There is terrorism on African American men in America because most of the households are not held by them. That's unnatural. I don't care
yes.
how correct, how right the woman is that made her to be the head of the household. It is unnatural. What it is a woman who has refused to follow. And more African American women have refused to follow.
It's not just only African
Oh, no,
American women.
we are
There are a lot
dealing,
of
we are talking about
yes,
Africans now. We are talking about our
yes,
community. You know, most of
yes,
them, most of the African American men are being raised by women, not men.
yes.
Most of them alienate their fathers. They think that what their mom, who is also raising daughters like themselves, what their mom formulated will not affect them.
It goes round
African
and round.
American, they should look at African American women in a new light because all of them are aggrandized. They, they want to look more than they actually are, and they run men out of the homes. That's terrorism. They use every means. It's
You said
practical
that's
terrorism.
terrorism, right?
Yeah, it is, when you use the arm of the law.
Yeah.
to effect it.
Yeah.
You don't see in Indian women, or Jewish women, or some other races, um, dispensing of their men like the African American woman does. And she dispenses of the man and takes the children and turns them against him. So anybody, the African American woman enable you to be here. Where are you from? From Bosnia?
Well, yeah. Let me see. Where?
If the
Let
person
me
is
see.
not a First Nation, if it's not a First Nation person, he shouldn't be talking.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me see if I.
It's towards the
I
end.
it's towards the
Because of,
end, right?
because of a black woman, you have the right to speak freely in the US. How arrogant, sir. Take that sir out of it. Take that sir out of there. Let's just go with how arrogant. And where are you from? You, Mr. Where what's his name? He can't even be there online in his own name. No three or what do you call no three?
Oh, Conetry
Talking bullshit.
is our friend.
Is who?
Conetry.
Is who?
Yeah. It's a young man from Sierra Leone.
It's
I
from
think I've heard of.
now look at him. Look at that. Those are some of the people who don't know what side of their bread is buttered.
No, he doesn't. Because he's from Sierra Leone. I had a discussion with him the other day. Actually, we spoke. He doesn't understand. I thought he understood where this whole thing is. It's so hard. On my personally, before now, I was not interested in anybody's tribe. I don't talk about people's tribe. But when people come and put their tribes in my nose, you use your tribe to violate me. You use your religion to violate me. What do you think? I should not push back and be preaching nice? No, I'm not nice to people who are not nice to me. Never again. I will not. So, my brother Conotry, again, let's not address, let's face reality. We have to face this reality. Because if we don't face it, we are not going to ever be able to solve the problems we have. If we keep dancing around it in the name of diplomacy, and I don't get diplomatic with people who are not diplomatic to me. People who come and tell me that Islam is an African religion, that he must impose it in Nigeria. People who come and tell me a small fraction of our country, telling me that they are the owners of Nigeria. Yes, and that there's nothing anybody can do, that they own Nigeria, and you expect me to not talk about it. Maybe you are lucky.
They are black leaders here or they are black Muslims. They think. I
Yes.
thought this.
No,
They think
I
that
listen
Islam is
to,
an African religion. It's
yes.
not.
No, it's
Islam
not.
has nothing to do with Africa.
No, that's not an African religion. If it
They
was
think
an
that Islam
African,
is, and you know,
if it was an African religion, why should we be speaking Arabic to as a medium of prayer? Just like a Latin was used as a medium for, you don't know a word in Latin, they use it to say mass for you, and we say all you hear is when it's time for you to say amen. I don't know anything about Latin. I didn't learn it. I think the in Christianity they made a lot of improvements so that the people will feel at home. At least
well,
now you can now you can pray in your
I
language.
went to a grammar school. I learned Latin. The declension,
Okay,
the declension,
no,
mensa, mensa,
I,
mensa. That's the only one I remember. Mensa, mensa, mensa,
so so
mensalum, mensis, mensis. Somebody
so
poelam laudat, for laboratory, all that bullshit, BS, nonsense. The
you
current
know
Hebrew
dominant.
the current
Yeah,
Hebrew being spoken today was never in existence 50 years ago. It was built up. We can create our own languages. We are forever permanently in Africa. We can write books in chemistry in our own language, can write books in physics in our own language. The things that are necessary for the development of any nation, we abandon them. We are fighting each other. This guy
yes,
from Sierra Leone, Charles Taylor, because out of the absence of the rule of law, made a mess of that place. On all over
yeah,
Africa, it is the same thing because The
It's-
people who should put the hammer to the nail, are not doing it.
yeah, so that's the thing. Now they keep on. I'm sure it's the same thing everywhere. So for me to become a leader as a Pan Africanist with the mindset to do what is best for my country, I have to take up arms. Yes, and then when you take up arms, you know what you do? You invite those people that you did not want in your life. They will supply you the arm. When you win, they will start telling you, dictating to you. So this is why it was necessary for us to come together and do it by ourselves and take the pride of doing it. So nobody can come from outside to talk to us and tell us how to do things. But we will never be able to do it.
Am I
We
different?
every
Am
time,
I different from the ordinary typical American? I don't have 50 t-shirts. I don't just buy tennis shoes galore. I don't go to the river or I go to Vegas or all this show and all that show. If I have that money, I enroll my child in Kumon or in Sylvan Learning Center because I'm going to pitch him against white, Russian, and German kids and prepare him for
okay,
life.
yes,
Yes, I don't.
Joyemi,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
Joyemi, you said something. I hope you are still here. You said the biggest problem is judgment on one another. Now, what leads to this judgment? We became a country in 1960, and the country was started on a very faulty foundation. The country was not designed to succeed as a country.
They
It
forced
was
us together.
designed, yes, they just put us together. We did not agree on how we are going to live together. And the generations of leaders, whenever they came, they made things worse.
They came from a
Now
particular
imagine,
side because they have been
yeah,
leagued to always come from a particular side.
yes, yeah, that's exactly. Those who did not challenge the status quo, who did not challenge the British, were the ones that they handed power over to, because they were at the beck and call of Britain. Anything that the Britain shout, they will quickly answer. Those who resisted them, those who wanted the good of the country, were not given power. This is where we are. So when they come, you
Does
can
he
imagine
realize
someone like
that
a Buhari.
in 30 months of war,
Yes,
Biafra built missiles and guided their trajectories to be, to land with their payload on target. That
yes.
was how advanced we are. We are
They built
Igbos.
they built
We
an
are
airport.
extraordinary.
Yes, they built an airport in a wartime. Yes, something Nigeria could not do. They built an airport. They were
In
making their
weeks,
own weapons. They built their own armored cars. Yes,
in
yes,
30 months, in
yes.
30
Within
months.
30 months. And they were refining their petroleum. They were refining their petroleum. The whole world was against them. They had Nigeria and Britain and France for 30 months. And you thought that was a fluke. And when it was over, instead of Nigeria coming out to say, let's use these people to change things around for our country, what did they do? All those scientists, they left Nigeria. Those who stayed died. And then that was the biggest loss of Nigeria. As
To
we
be an
speak right now,
African,
yes,
let me say this. Listen,
yes,
in a class of 30 kids, in a room, in a typical American city, of a class of 30 kids, if there are anything up to 8 black children in it, let's say 5 black children, and the bell for recess rings, the first child, if not the first or second, out of the door will be a black child. Black people are resilient. They are born resilient. People cannot want to effectively engage in play except their mental faculty is very, very right. Yes, you can be a Stephen Hawkins in a wheelchair and you'll be plotting the position of the planetary objects and so on. But that is like a spit in a bucket. It does not happen every day. You know, Black people must realize that they have special abilities which they can harness and stop being foolish or acting foolish. Or you being 32
yes,
years old with your 8-year-old child with you in the store and your pants is at your ass and you are acting, trying to look tough. as if tough is the criteria for life. I've
Okay.
lived in America
Again,
35 years, and I lived in the West Side, this very same, the same zip code as Snoop Dogg. When he was coming, I was where I was living. With the first day I got to America, my welcome to America moment
yes,
was looking across the 710 freeway, and they were beating Rodney King.
yes.
It was in February of 1991. They were
Wow,
beating. That was my welcome to America moment. So
wow,
I've lived inside the ghetto in America, and I understand black ways, black attitudes.
wow. Again, Conotry, you made another statement. You said, again, our problems are not tribal or religious, and it is about sovereignty and economics. So how now I ask you, if you are still listening, or if you like, you have my number. Call that number from which I called you, so we can talk this thing, so that the world will hear you beyond this comment that you are making. Because we need to put our voice together. If our problem is not religion, it's not tribal, how come it becomes a recurrent decimal every day? You are from Sierra Leone. I'm not sure you are Nigerians.
Where they
Every
abduct a
day,
whole boarding school of girls, 300 and
yes,
something, and truck them out of
yes,
town
and it's
without one
nobody else.
gunshot.
Yeah, nobody from another tribe is doing it. Nobody. The only people who are abducting people in Nigeria are Fulanis. They will go to schools and abduct a whole school, put them in buses, take them into the bush, and be demanding for ransom,
Marry them off,
marry them off,
uh,
rape them, kill
assault and
some.
molest them.
Yeah, kill some, sell their body parts. And you are saying it's not tribe? So what do you call that? Is that sovereignty? That is not. And they are Muslims. And whenever they commit their mayhem, they shout Allahu Akbar. I am not a Christian. I'm a Rastaman. But what I believe does not teach me to kill anybody. Everybody's life is sacrosanct. So how is that not tribal? How is that sovereign? How is that sovereignty and economics? What are they trying to do? To violently seize Nigeria? Yeah, that is where the economic angle comes from. Because it's a long-term project for them since 1804. Every generation pushes it. Now, this generation has pushed it to an intolerable level. That is why you are beginning to see the kind of rebellion. And they don't want us to speak. They keep wanting us to be, oh, diplomat. Don't say it so that they won't get angry. Oh, but they are killing me. They are killing our people. They are raping our women. They are even killing fellow Muslims. They burn Hausa mosques. They rape Hausa women inside the mosques. Fellow Muslims.
They have burnt over 1,500 churches.
Yes. And you say we should not talk about it. It's sovereignty. It's only when America comes in we start talking about sovereignty, where we don't even have. Have you ever had sovereignty? You are from Sierra Leone. Your country does not have sovereignty. If your country had sovereignty, we won't see the kind of war of diamond that raged for years there. And those people behind it, they were Arabs. Yes, they were Arabs, traders of diamond. At the time, Lebanese took over your country and everything. I'm not sure anything has changed since then. The same thing they did in Liberia. Charles Taylor was involved in the whole mess. Charles Taylor escaped from prison here in the United States, in Boston, where he was, and ran back home and got himself in the War of Diamond. So we know all these things. Yes, as much as you want us to address it, let's be very honest about it. From what is taking place in Nigeria, we know what's up, what's going on. These people, 10 out of the country's 13 heads of states, 10 were Fulanis. From a minority Fulanis. It's either they are there directly or they are there remotely. And every time they are in power, they make things worse. They rule the country with iron fist. Everything is about not. But the not that they talk about is not the not that we understand it is. The not that benefits the Fulanis. We will not stop
Or
talking about it.
Muslims, Fulani or Muslims,
Yes.
because Abacha was Muslim. He
Yeah.
took how many billion? We recovered about 4 or 5 billion.
Where all the ones they recover, where did you see?
Okay,
They stole it
and
again.
they say, oh no, don't
And
fight
they are the
Christians.
ones who steal it.
That
Yes.
is why I don't want anybody to talk to me about religion. So
Yeah.
long as it is foreign religion, so long as it emanated out of Africa, it is
Yeah.
bullshit to me. It's not like Islam is nonsense to me. It is to me. Arab nonsense.
Yes.
If
Well,
somebody says and God said, once that religion said and God said, that's a fraudulent religion. It is
yes.
somebody trying to tell me that God told he has privy with God. His privileged access to God to send to me. Why don't I tell him what God told me to tell him?
Yeah. Now, Accountant General of Federation, Idris, he prays 5 times a day. He stole 109 billion naira. 109 billion. 109 billion can build 50 hospitals in Nigeria. If you have been to Nigeria, you will understand that there is zero access to healthcare.
What about the attorney general?
And
Look
that's
at
what
how
I'm
many
talking
millions
about.
he put.
I'm naming them for him. They are all Fulanis. Two, Abubakar Malami, former Attorney General, immediate past Attorney General of Nigeria. He stole over 2 billion naira, and they are still discovering some. All right? That's it. Former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, Fulani. He destroyed the aviation industry. And towards the end of Buhari's administration, you know what this man did? He got
Mhm.
involved with Ethiopia, borrowed an Ethiopian aircraft,
Leased it
leased it,
and
he put his
painted it
Nigerian logo on it. That new Nigerian Airways was born. And they were clicking champagne bottles, celebrating. Hadi Sirika, Fulani. You want us to continue? Registrar of JAM, Fulani. He stole so much money and he claimed that the python swallowed the money. Python. Where was the python coming from? Have you ever seen that python? Yes. So
But
it goes on and on and on and on. The
people
same
cannot
people.
people can only do this if
Yes.
they have access and control of the instruments of coercive force.
Absolutely.
They are in charge of our military. The
Yes,
British organized it like that. They
absolutely.
are in charge of all our armed services.
All the strategic
Any
institutions
dissent,
hijacked by them.
any dissent is squelched.
Yes. And you say we shouldn't talk about it? We must talk about it. So, my brother, I know you mean well, but you need to understand this Nigerian situation. You told me about what you Fulanis faced from the Fulanis in Guinea
Is he
during the
Fulani himself?
civil.
Is he Fulani? He's probably
Yes.
Fulani.
No, he is. He is.
Well,
He is.
he has affinity
But
with these criminals, but is he Christian or Muslim?
I don't know, but he's a good guy. I must be very
It don't
honest.
matter
He
whether
had
he's
a
a
very
good guy
serious
or
life.
not. If he
He-
believes,
so
if
when
he's,
he doesn't like to hear, he doesn't like to hear tribe or tribalism. Just like you and
but
I.
he does not condemn jihad.
Yeah.
He does not get angry when somebody threatens
Yeah,
jihad.
when the people are killing people, they keep quiet over
When
it.
people, yes, that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. When people are
So
threatening, like they're doing in London on London streets. You see some what do you call it, Muslim with big beards and everything, threatening they're gonna do this, Sharia is gonna do this and that. That will be the day. If they don't want that black stone of iniquity to be bombed.
Now, so this is this is the conversation Nigerians have been running away from for a very long time. You want to win an election in Nigeria, you have to be nice. No, I don't want to be nice to criminals. I have nothing to do with anybody who does anything wrong. I started from my own hometown. Yeah, listen, if you are listening. There's a guy, a criminal, a rogue. Yes, he says the king of my hometown. He converted to Islam, Boko Haram Islam, as far back as 2009. Then he abducted children out of a high school in my hometown, took them to Medugri for 1 year for indoctrination. When they all returned with AK-47 and all dropped out of school. 2009 was the first time I went to my hometown after 15 years of being in the United States. When I got there, I started seeing some very strange things. Then in the evening, I was sitting with my older brother. I said, hey, do you see what I'm seeing? He said, what are you seeing? I said, don't you see what I'm seeing? This town has changed. This is not the place that I used to know. Who are all these people that I'm seeing around? Oh, he said, now so we see them for here. Really, now so you see them. So these people have been surveying the lands. So that was why it was easy for them to start kidnapping our people. They disguised as artisans. They went into the bush. And then the fucking stupid guy who claimed he's king, his father was never a king of my place. They came through the back doors. They sponsored him to Saudi Arabia. If you know what I did, I had to start a network that trailed him to Saudi Arabia and back. And now he opened a torture chamber. He was torturing our young people, torturing our women, beating up old men. Our old people started sleeping in their farms. They were scared of coming home. The elites in my hometown head on to where they were living. Whenever they were traveling to my hometown, they came in public transport. They were scared of driving their bus. This guy became a terror. So in 2012, I was invited for the very first time. I don't know why they invited me to come and speak at my hometown's annual conference. That was the 54th annual conference. They invited me to come and speak. They invited another one. We were three. We agreed to go to Nigeria. We got to the airport the first day. We missed our flight. One of us dropped out that he was not going anymore because that was a bad sign to him. The other one said, we will go. The following day, we went. We went to the airport early enough to avoid what happened. We were even lucky that they told us to come back. If it was now, that would have been a forfeiture of our airfare. We went to Nigeria. We got to Lagos. We lodged in a hotel. We booked another flight to Benin to be able to get to my hometown directly on the day of the conference. Something happened that we could not explain. That very first day of the conference, nobody came because the hoodlum who said he was the king of the town threatened to bomb the conference arena. So in the morning when we woke up to go to the airport, we go to the airport. You know how it is in Nigeria. Air, the company, what an aero transporter, they said they were not. They canceled that flight for that morning, and they scheduled the flight for 3 p.m. So by 3 p.m. would be when the conference would have been over. And then it's not like the airport was in my hometown. We're gonna stop in Benin before we will drive from Benin to my hometown. Another 45 minutes. So I asked him, what do we do? We traveled all the way from the United States. And we were coordinating with the people at home. They said the first day did not hold. So we told them, hold on, we are coming. I said, we cannot afford to stay in Lagos and return to the United States without being at this conference. We saw a nice looking Toyota Camry. We stopped him. The driver was a Yoruba man. We told him, can you go to Delta with us? He said, yes. And we asked, how much are you going to charge? He said, 100,000. So we said, okay, no problem. Yes, that was 2012. So we set off. Everything was sailing good. Midway in the drive, the man was making calls. So I told him, give me your cell phone. You cannot be making these calls while you have us in this car. We want to be sure that we are safe. He was scared. I said, we are not going to harm you. Just give me the phone. Then I seized his phone. I said, keep on going. The man was scared. So we got to Ore. Um, I saw him. He started doing his brake like something was happening. I asked him what's going on. He said the brake is not holding a man, like the brake is failing. I said okay. I started guiding him on how to use the handbrake until the car came to a complete stop. Then I called my brother who was already in Benin. I said, bring my car, meet us here. We'll be managing until we meet. So we got close to Benin. My brother was in my car, and then we told the guy, okay, you can stop. I gave him his phone back, and then we paid him his 100,000. He was so happy. He was scared that something was going to happen to him. So that was how we drove straight to my hometown. Just as we came into it was like an electric light turned on. When they saw, we drove straight to the conference hall. The whole community left and were just following us. Like, I have never seen a thing like that. And that was the very first time I had to speak in my hometown. I was a quiet person. That was where this speaking started, 2012. The guy, the rogue king, they said he was threatening to bomb the place. I told him, bring your bomb. So the hall was full. And we spoke to the first guy spoke, then I spoke. Dethrone this idiot. He doesn't belong here. And then we went to the palace. I told him, I heard you said you want to kill us. Here we are. You know what he did? He ran into the bush. King ran into the bush. That was where his trouble started. After we left, they said he came back, started terrorizing the people. Then we came back for him. And then the community dethroned him and exiled him. Yes, that's the power of unity. This Boko Haram came a long time ago. That's how we went into the forest. Our young, then our Bavo youths were good. We sent them into the forest to flush them out of our forest. They drove all of them out of that forest. So that's when I see what Nigeria is doing with these idiots. Nigeria is not ready to fight terrorism. They are not ready. Bola Tinubu is an axle, is a part, is an accessory of evil. The masterminds of terrorism brought him to power. Saad Abubakar, El Rufai, and the rest of them were those who brought him to power. He can't fight them because he's compromised. That is why America's involvement was very strategic. He didn't have a choice. He didn't have an opportunity to say yes or no. His hands were tied. The people of Nigeria,
And he's not coming back.
no, he's gone. He's gone. Me, I don't want election. No. If you ask me, I'm not looking for election 2027. When they talk about it, I'm not interested in it.
No, if nothing, if Nigeria will not be demarcated by then, or parceled out or whatever, if we are still going to remain one Nigeria, then let's have an election and let Hausa vote Fulani out.
All right. Yeah. The Fulanis are on the edge right now. So that is why. If you see like what took place in Port Harcourt, you see them trying to build this northern unity around it. But I'm happy with one young Hausa boy. I wish Jibril is here. I needed to talk to him. I was to do a show with him, a joint show, to make those people who are afraid to not scare that nobody is going to touch Hausa people anymore anywhere in Nigeria. But I waited for him. I fell asleep. But I'm gonna have to, bring him on this show so we can talk to Nigerians gently. And then Yusuf Shodangi is doing a great job. Actually, he's touring right now. That's why you are not seeing him on his Sawa Mufaraka yet. He's doing a tour around the whole of the north. He's working really hard, really, really hard. Those boys are something else. Those boys are really something else. The message Jibril released a couple of days ago went around, went really viral, and it's resonating with the people of Nigeria. So let me use this opportunity to talk to Nigerians who are listening today. Please, maybe you even speak better than me on this, but let me try. The Hausa people are very good people. They are not bad people. Their brand of Islam is not the brand of Islam the Fulani terrorists are practicing.
Yes.
They are moderates. And the Hausa man has no time to trouble you. Hausa man is not in a competition with you. You find Hausa people, you don't find them in the bush. They are the ones who will live inside the town. They may not live with the people, like they have their own congregation. But from what I know about Hausas before now, those who lived with us lived inside like Agbo, where you heard that they have Hausa quarters. I, a lot of them, I'm not sure they will ever go back again. They speak the
Yes.
language. They
Yes.
are doing everything with it. They never trouble you. Outsiders have not trouble you. You find them mostly in the markets, doing things in the market. They sell. They are very, very humble people. You will never find an Hausa man in the forest unless perhaps it's a hunter. I don't think an Hausa man would really want to travel all the way from the north to come and hunt in a forest where he doesn't know a thing. The people who are inhabiting the forests are Fulanis. They are mercenaries imported into Nigeria by El Rufai, by Saad Abubakar, and the Fulani corrupt and morally bankrupt and violent Fulanis. They are the ones. Don't, when you see an Hausa person, please, you can actually physically differentiate them. They don't look like the Fulani. The Hausa man looks like a real African. Look at yourself
Yes.
and look at them. See
Yes.
them.
That's right.
The
That's right.
African stature is there. They are black. You see the Africanness in them.
And when they are light skinned too, they are still African.
They are still Africans. You will see the difference. So please, please, we are not advocating for you to kill anybody who did not do anything to you, but spare the Hausa people of this trouble.
Indeed.
I mean, everywhere explaining to please, let's understand. Go after those who go after you. Any person you see wielding AK-47 is not a soldier, it's not a police, it's an enemy. You don't even wait for him. Find a way to disarm him. If you see a cattle rearer with a cattle with the AK-47 behind it, disarm him. These are the people who are killing our people. So I thought I shared this with you. The Hausa people are good people. Their brand of Islam, they are not ambitious. They are not trying to force their Islam on you. They are not trying to expand. They are not interested in becoming the king of your town. No, they just want to make a living. And these people have been subjugated for 222 years. Who can stand that? 222 years. They deny them education. As we speak, over 30 million Hausa children are in the streets of Sokoto, Kano, Kebi, Zamfara, Kaduna, and everywhere in the north. What do? They beg from AM to PM. Yeah, they beg for food. You hear them, Pangara, yeah. And the only thing in the evening they go and learn Arabic that they cannot even read and write. They can't speak it. They deny them Western education in order to keep them stupid, yes, and ignorant, illiterate, and then to use them as cannon fodder to fight their battles. Now they have lost them. So that is why they are raging. That's why they are angry. No Fulani elite should be elected into any political office in Nigeria anymore. They are not good to Nigeria. They don't believe in Nigeria. They are anti-Nigeria. They are anti-progress.
They are only Nigeria when all the benefits come to them. And when they are the one giving out, doling out to who they like, then we are Nigeria. That's not going to happen again. That Nigeria has gone, is not coming back. It's bye-bye.
All right. So now we have talked about that exhaustively. Now, what do you think about the attitude of the Nigerian youth?
These are a function of people who have who have a knee on their neck for too long. They have been browbeaten. Remember that it is not illegal to carry weapons in Nigeria, arms. In America, an arm is what you use to protect your family, your loved one, property you lawfully acquired, and your rights. You protect it with an arm. And people who work for the people respect the idea that the people they work for are armed as well. They don't just accost them anyhow, willy nilly. In Africa, in Nigeria, we can't carry arms. We can't defend our rights. And as you know, rights, if you don't exercise them, they are like a muscle. If you don't exercise your rights, you lose it. And when we are put in a position where we can't exercise our rights, we've lost our rights in Nigeria. Nigerians have lost their rights. So the apathy on them is the lack of access to coercive force. That's why America as a democracy is different. The right to bear arms is a right for every man. Otherwise, people will come and forcefully remove the pot of soup your wife has on the stove and walk away with it. And you watch them walk away with your wife's soup pot. That's what is happening in Nigeria. So I don't blame the youth. We thank America for trying to come in. Let them come in and at least bring some sanity to the situation. Make it possible for us to disarm these people who, by their thoughts, words, and deed, is anti-Nigerian unity. If we get proper unity, let's get equitable unity that compensates all the places that generate the wealth of Nigeria, but which have been denied access to those resources. That's the kind of equity we want. If we don't want it, I am a Biafran. The fight continues. I was 14 years old when the war ended. At that time, nobody surrendered on my behalf. I didn't authorize anybody to make any contract of surrender for me. I have never surrendered. I didn't surrender. I'm a Biafran soldier. BA, Biafran Army number 211373. I've had nearly half a dozen phone numbers since I came to America. Can't even remember them now. Sometimes in questionnaires, I see them and maybe vaguely, oh yeah, I used to have that number. But I would never forget my Biafran Army enlistment number.
All right. There's something here that I would love, to read from a Nigerian youth. And he's saying this to his peers. Yeah, he said, if you are afraid to speak against stupid political leaders and their gang of thieves, you are not hungry enough. Allow us, we the hungry and angry Nigerians, to. Yes, I am hungry and angry Nigerian. My message against the political wasps did not come from the place of emotion, but from frustration, hunger, and anger. I should be careful when I speak against inconsiderate political leaders, both you and them, they mad. Irrepressible Sir Gabriel Otioma, that is a young man, writing that, addressing his peers. Yes. You know, hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm reading.
Yes, yes.
I'm reading.
You have
Yeah,
you are reading, all right.
I'm very, very on to this. I don't care whether we go up to 4 a.m. I'm looking at, see, I've, I've always tried not to use my glasses, and that's why you see these furrows on my head, because I squint
Yes,
sometimes, you know.
yes,
But
yes.
generally, I'm just trying to read the dialogue.
Okay, all right, okay. Yes, if you find anything that you want to talk about, you can go ahead and do that. But let me say something about this. This young man, Gabriel Otioma, was one of those who worked with me when I ran for Senate in 2019. And as we speak, something happened today. We were, speaking, exchanging views on the situation in Nigeria. And he wrote some very beautiful things. So I commended him for that. I will tell you, among the youths who work with me, he is outstanding. He has integrity. He's not one that you can give money and then he starts spinning. So, I wasn't surprised to hear him say what he said. He's angry with his peers who go about praising politicians for money. Yes, so he's telling them that they are not hungry enough, but he is hungry and angry. That is what.
I challenged a Hausa, not a Hausa, a Muslim name, Senator Wada. That's 50,000 palliative is working. They say Senator 50,000. 50.
Yeah,
How much is that? Probably $30.
yes,
You mortgage the next 4 years
yes,
for $30.
they don't care.
And that guy goes in there and steals all the money he can get, and you get $30. Next election again, he gives you another $30.
Yes.
And you go and vote for him and all that kind of. But anyway, there's something here where somebody Africans is Kono 3 again. Africans started religion, Islamic tradition believes that Jesus, Moses, and Abraham were all blacks. Majority of the stories of the Bible, all the Bible and all of those things. How can somebody whose pigment has depleted from him leaving Africa, going up north, the original person, he will go there. Abraham from from the city of Ur of the Chaldees. He became this person, beget that person, this person beget that person, and the Europeans turn everything all around in a mishmash and talk and throw it out as religion. Take that all that crap, put it in the dustbin. I'm not going to address Jesus whether he was black or he was a human being. He was born and they say, oh no, God used wireless. God used wireless. God was checking and he's checking. Oh, you. No, not you. The other taller lady in the back there. What's your name? He said Mary. Okay. He wirelessly impregnated her and he gave birth and this bullshit and that bar. Get the fuck out of here. What's his name? Muhammad went to heaven and saw God and said, anytime somebody tell you God said those two words and God said those three words, it's all lies. It's all lies. God don't talk to nobody before he talk to me first.
Why? Because you are. Why do you go because you
Chineke.
are?
I'm Chineke. And I'm the one who believe in the real true God. Don't mind what the Omekome. What the lies that they spew. Christianity, all of that, that's all bullshit.
All right. Here comes an advice for the Hausa people. It says Hausas should not allow themselves to be fooled ever again by the corrupt Fulani elites.
If they
The
want,
Hausa liberation is being fought for by the whole of Nigeria. And so we call on the Hausa people to not mix the struggle with religion and the fake elitist Fulani Northern nationalism. that has long died. They can be destroying, they can't be destroying you in Sokoto, Kano, Kebi, Zamfara, Kaduna, and everywhere in the north, and become your defenders elsewhere in the country where they are being confronted for their evil. They are hypocrites and parasites. Resist them and their temptation that they are for you. What do you say about that?
A better answer would be for the question of the guy here who said, what's his name? Something Nadi or so. Not one Nigerian can say what the country is. That's false. What the country needs is the right for every sane adult to be able to bear arms, to protect themselves, their family, their loved ones, property they have lawfully acquired, and their rights. We can't have policemen and soldiers in every 10 miles of the southeast shaking commuters down, putting their hands in their pocket, taking bribes from taxi drivers for every fare they carry. Just, you know, lawlessness in the ports, bribery everywhere. You go to the post office, you have to pay a bribe to receive your parcel. All of those things, the solution to that is the ability to bear arms. That is the only way you protect your right. When somebody has heard that someone was trying to take a bribe from somebody and they got shot, maybe you will think better again before you take bribe. I've lived in America 35 years. I've never been able to smell, to suspect, or even imagine that anyone was going to ask me for a bribe. Of all the
Never,
tickets that there has never been any nothing,
never,
not
never,
and
never
if you want to go to jail real quick, offer a bribe to a policeman
offer
in
bribe to a
America.
police officer. You are gone. Yes, when we are saying this, it sounds to them like it's impossible. The people of Nigeria, by nature, have become so corrupt. They are the ones to initiate the bribe. I went home some years ago. My younger one was driving, and he decided to start driving against the flow of traffic. I told him, "Why are you doing this?" He said, "This is how we do it." But so bad for him, the police caught him. Now, you know how they are. The police tried to jump into my car. I said, "No, you can't jump into my car like that. What is it?" He said, "You know what this man did?" I said, "Yes." "Okay, we're going to go to our station with you." I said, "Yeah, that's what I want." So I allowed him a space. And then we drove for a few, not less than a mile. He said, "Oga, you sure you really want to go to the station?" I said, "Yes." Hmm. Then he got to a place, there was a group of police. He stopped them. He stopped. We stopped there. He said, "This is our guy here. Talk to him." I said, "Talk to him about what?" "I'm going to the court. You define me, I'll pay." Or he will pay because I'm not a driver. He is going to have to pay. Maybe perhaps he will learn a lesson because I told him not to drive the way he was driving. They thought I was joking. So at the end of the day, they knew that if we went to that place, they were not going to get the money. They had to let us go. That is the country. Before a police stops you in Nigeria, you're already reaching for your pocket to give him money so that they go. So now it has become a right for them to demand it. And
We
sometimes they shoot people, they kill
we
people.
we want the country separated, or it better work right. We are
It
not
better
going
work.
to. Yes, because most Nigerians are some of the most traveled people in the world. They see how
Yes.
things work right everywhere else. There is no reason why we will not implement it in Nigeria, and
The
we are not
people
going
who
to have.
travel.
I don't even think we should have a Nigeria where the rule that you cannot carry arms it can still hold. Whereas some people, nearly every other person from adversaries have this.
Yes. Are
Yeah,
carrying arms.
yes. It
Yes.
should now be a right for every sane adult to have a licensed arm. An arm is something that is a necessity. What you do with it is your responsibility. You know, if you shoot somebody with malice,
Yes.
then you go for it.
You go
But if
for it.
you shoot somebody while you are protecting your own life, like happens in America, you will have no case to answer.
Good. Now, let me read a statement from Open Nigeria to the House of people or to the people of Nigeria, you know, about what is taking place in that country and our solidarity with the Hausa people. Open Nigeria stands with the Hausa people and the whole of Nigeria. We condemn the elitist Fulani hypocrisy and its usual divisive rhetoric. When you destroy them in great numbers and rape their women in the mosques in the north, you shout Allahu Akbar and only ridiculously rise up to condemn your brothers and sisters in Islam and of the north and start threatening war, fire, and brimstone to the whole country, especially the Igbos, your arch enemies, to support your pathological and desperate hypocrisy, which nobody takes seriously anymore when they are mistaken by some aggrieved, ignorant people who cannot differentiate Fulani from Hausas for the armed, bloody terrorists. Yes, robbers and kidnappers and rapists you have deployed across the country to drive your genocidal economic jihadist mission to seize Nigeria. Full stop. Yes, that is a statement from Open Nigeria. They don't hide what they are doing. They brazenly do it and expect no consequence because they believe that they own the country. So we all have to reset our mindset in order to be able to build a country. Otherwise, that country is better dissolved so that everybody will go his or her way. And then let's see, for those who can build true countries, for them to build their countries.
Mhm.
Yes, we see terrorists every day holding our people to ransom. We are tired of it. We are really tired, especially when we don't have a responsible government that can do anything. I've never seen the type of government we have in Nigeria anywhere. Not just this beastly one, even the ones before them. We have never had the luxury of being led by any good person. So, Nigerians, at what point are we going to make a distinction? At what point
It is the
are we going
Nigerian
to?
system of government that was instituted by the British, the way they arranged the country, except we change that
Mkulu
arrangement.
Elwufa is an alleged Fulani
Yes.
terrorist
But
who allegedly
anyway,
recruited,
um,
armed,
sir,
and Fulani
if we
mercenaries
will
from.
call it a night, I think we have been able to deal with a lot of questions.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you very much. And we thank all those who tuned in. I wish I can call all of your names. Connor Tree, the rest of all of us, we can build a better Africa. We can build a better Nigeria. We can build a better Sierra Leone. We can build a better Liberia. We can build a better world if we all understand one basic thing: the right, basic human right, and that right that helps us respect the rights of others, so that we stop violating ourselves and build that beautiful continent that has over 45% of the Earth's resources. We thank Mr. Charles Ugwumba for the short notice issue, these issues that we discussed tonight. It is always a pleasure having you here, and I look forward to seeing you maybe sometime next week again. Come on, let's get this job done, sir.
At your disposal.
Thank you. We appreciate you
Thank you.
sincerely.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, good night, sir.
You bet.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye now. All right, listeners from Nigeria, across Africa, and around the world. This is Smart Mado Ajaja, the convener of Open Nigeria and Africa Unite, the CEO of ONN. Yes, and the anchor of Nigeria Now. Global matters are rising. Good morning, Africa. And reggae at its best on ONN. Saying a huge thank you to you all who took time to be part of this conversation. I wish I could read out all your comments, but let's continue this conversation in the comment section. We'll respond from there. We'll respond to many of your messages. So keep bringing them on. And Corner 3, I look forward to having a one-on-one interview with you soonest. If you can make yourself available, just let me know. And any other person who wants to talk about Africa, America, or wherever issues that they want to discuss, you know, you don't need to pay us money to come on our show. We are here, doing the work of the Almighty God through serving our fellow human beings. That is what we do. We do not hate. Yes, it's just painful that sometimes we are pushed to the point of where we have to call out some people, call out their tribes for what they are doing, especially when majority don't speak up as citizens of Nigeria when things are going bad. Yes, we need to do better in that area. And we look forward to seeing you. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please take a minute to subscribe and like our channel. Yes, just a few seconds to like. And what does that do? It helps us expand our mission, and it helps YouTube to continually recommend our channel to people around the world. Yes, it has been such a great moment and a pleasure being here with you. And like I told you, we are supported through our affiliates, yes, who display their products on our channel. And then today we have an array of African businesses that supports us when you patronize them. From whatever you patronize them, they give us a percentage to support our mission, to help us meet some of those obligations we have in Nigeria and some other parts of Africa. And hopefully, we're going to be expanding, yes, and based on the level of support that we receive from you. You can send us super thanks, and you can send us donations, whatever you can do to help our mission grow. We will sincerely and very deeply appreciate them. And we look forward to seeing you again in our next stream. And to contact us, if you want to speak to ONN, either via text or phone, the number to call is 713-281-5435. 713-281-5435. And if you want to send us email, direct your email at onnetwork1, yes, at gmail.com. onnetwork1, yes, at gmail.com. And then we look forward to seeing you. Bye for now and take care. All right.